Today, we will be discussing something that I have discussed many times before, and that is the duality of reaction content. Okay. For those of you that don't know, because I still run into people that are genuinely shocked by this information, there is a huge demographic of people that consume reaction style content that would prefer if the person reacting barely said anything ever. They love if the person reacting laughs and occasionally goes, "Damn, that's crazy." That is like peak reaction content to them. I feel like we've pretended that like since I guess 2015, it's crazy to think that iDubbbz made that content cup about Jinx almost 10 years ago. But it seems like some people think that that style of reaction content is either all that exists or it completely died off during that period when it really didn't, right? Like let's look at that situation, because a lot of people could argue, and I think it's rational to say this, that Content Cop or the Content Cop about Jinx is what really destroyed his career. But that's an interesting thing to say, because it implies that the people that were watching him and were subbing to him as he was blowing up were just like unaware that the content was not really all that interesting until iDubbbz said that it wasn't. And maybe they were all kids, so it's a popularity contest type of thing. I am of the belief that they suffer from something that I consistently see in these new reaction channels that just pop up out of nowhere, where they know that they can hop on, react to pretty much anything and everything: movie trailers, music videos, music albums, random YouTube videos, compilations, video essays, whatever it might be. They know that they can react to it, basically do the bare minimum. And I don't even mean just editing, right? Because I feel like you can still contribute without heavy editing. But they know that they can basically abuse this demographic person, and it works for them temporarily. And here's the thing, right? Here, listen, I've done my own anecdotal personal research, okay? Because before 2020, my outlook on reaction channels was that they were all garbage. I kind of had the idea that anyone that recorded reactions was doing so that they could play a video in the background, rarely say anything, and that would be the be all end all. You know what I mean? However, in 2020, I had free time on my hands because the world was locked down. And I started to come across reaction channels that were just kind of auto-playing into next videos. Reactions that were like interesting in some way. Like the person reacting was providing enough commentary or showing you enough of their personality that was like, oh, if I continued, like if me watching these, I'm watching them solely because this person's personality is interesting to me. Because I could watch the original video without any interruptions, but this person has takes. Maybe it's introspective, maybe it's funny. That was the reason why you watched them. You know, your Dante's. I think Asmongold is an example for a lot of people because he talks a lot. But even in their videos, like even in Dante and Asmongold videos, you'll see people that say, "And you pause too much, you talk too much. I wish you'd stop pausing the video." Blah blah blah. Now, to be fair, compared to the amount of support they get, it's like nothing. And even I can say this as a small channel. I get far more contents that are like, your style of kind of just going off on tangents is interesting because sometimes the joke could be really rewarding. Sometimes it's whatever, but it's more refreshing than just like a guy staring at a screen and being like, damn, that's crazy. I receive comments like that far more than I receive like, you're pausing too much. And usually I only receive comments about pausing too much in videos where it's like almost like I'm purposely trying to be like, oh, we're going to be pausing a lot during this one. Like, honestly, truth be told, I usually only get comments like that when I bring up, not even purposely, I'll just bring up the fact like, damn, I'm pausing a lot. I'm talking a lot, going off on tangents. There's been videos where I've like 75% of the time is just me talking and 25% is like, I don't know, some memes where nobody says anything. Nobody says anything. But then a shorter video, like let's say 10 minutes, and then it ends up being a 20-minute reaction, and it's like, half and half, where people are like, oh my God. But it's specifically when I bring it up, you know what I mean? But none of this is surprising because you hop on over a TikTok, there could be a 30-second clip, like no joke, literally like a 30-second clip of somebody just talking. And the person that uploads the clip feels the need to throw like gameplay in the top because they know that there is this huge demographic of people that cannot pay attention to somebody talking for 30 seconds or more, or even less in certain instances, without there being something else to occupy their brain. I am of the impression that this type of shortening of people's attention spans is not a good thing, but also at the same time, long-form podcasts are still really popular, so it's still clear that there is also a demographic of people that would rather consume long-form content. I am of the impression, and have always said this, that long-form style content, while it might get, those eye rollers who are like, oh, you're talking too much, blah, 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 you're going off on tangents, it's always going to be worth it for you in the long run to do that style of content, because the people that actually stick around are sticking around for you, right? The kinds of people that stick around for a reaction channel that basically does nothing at all are sticking around because you're a place to go to for them to basically watch new trailers, to watch new whatever, and have like a friend that's there with them laughing and being like, oh damn, that's crazy, with them. And the problem with that is you are easily replaceable. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe if you're a woman and you're like extremely attractive, there's like a demographic of dudes that will like get overly attached to you. Even those dudes are probably going to move on if you're not providing enough like very specific content that they would be looking for, opinion wise. Or I don't know, maybe they think you're the most beautiful person in the world. But like, if you're a guy, man, it's going to be ugly for you, man. It's going to be ugly. It's the idea of sometimes the hard way ends up being the easier way in the long run, because that initial path of I'll react to anything and everything and I'll do the bare minimum, it's like quick money. And I've seen it happen many times, because when I started to consume reaction content and upload reaction content, of course I got recommended more content. And one thing I would see consistently is these channels that would basically pull the Jinx mentality of like, I'm going to upload 5 to 6 videos a day, and they're all going to be like the bare minimum. I'm going to be eating food, and in case you're going, funny, and that's it. They will blow up, maybe their gimmick is like, it's 3 dudes on a couch or something, as opposed to like one guy sitting here. They'll blow up, like hit like 10K, 20K subs or something like that over the course of 6 months or something, some short, or maybe even shorter. But then they plateau and kind of die off, because, well, you could just move on to somebody. Oh, this guy, there's 4 guys on this guy's couch, or there's only 2 guys here. Or no, these guys are eating pizza. I prefer they eat pizza. Like, it's just dumb shit like that. I'm not feeling watching them eat burgers anymore. I'm not really in a burger mood today. That is the kind of like person that you want to watch your videos. I would go so far as to say that if that is the kind of content that you prefer, where somebody like doesn't say anything, I don't really want you to be watching my videos anyways. Like, to be completely honest. And it's not like I'm going to ban you from watching my videos, but if you come along and you're like, hey man, your videos, I would prefer it if you don't say anything at all, I'd be like, well, then watch somebody else. That is what because regardless of like, I don't know, personality, sometimes personalities clash, sometimes people like it. Sometimes it's genuinely because this person does not have the attention span to watch somebody that's going to talk for 10 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever in between clips. I mean, yeah, like, it is a demographic that I do not feel I would ever want, because I feel like you would just give me excuses for anything. But these people, they exist, man. They exist, and people pretend, because it's easy to say like, oh, iDubbbz is the reason Jinx died. Yeah, but also like, at the same time, did it really take? I mean, maybe it was a popularity contest thing where it took like the cooler kid saying that this sucked for it to die off. But I also think that what made it so easy for him to die off is because he could easily be replaced by somebody else, And there's probably a fair amount of people who went, yeah, we moved on from Jinx. He didn't react enough. You know what I mean? His videos were, he would react to a 10-minute video. It would be 10 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm watching this new dude. He reacted to a video that's 10 minutes and his reaction was 11 minutes. There's an extra 30 seconds worth of personal content there. That's the level that they adjust to. Now, some people, like I said, have come to me and been like, you could just tone it down on the tangents, but that's the thing. That would be me lying to you. And part of what I enjoyed when I came across those reaction channels that I genuinely liked is that you almost didn't need the original video there per se. I mean, obviously they would like the context is important, but like that what they had to say is the whole reason I'm there in the first place, you know? And if somebody is viewing one of my videos and they're like, God, this guy is talking too much, or maybe they don't think I'm funny or like whatever, it could be anything. Because I've seen some people who are like, I can tell you're a funny dude, but you talk too much, which is the funniest thing I think I've ever seen. Because it's like, damn, if only I was a little bit more funny so that you could excuse the fact that I'm talking too much. You know what I mean? But like if somebody clicks on my video and like, damn, he's talking too much. And they're like, oh, I see, he linked the original video in the description. I'm just going to go watch that. To me, that's a net positive because it's making it so like you're not subbing to me, a channel that's going like I'm gonna keep doing what I do. Like I'm going to talk, I'm going to do what I do. So you're not wasting time watching me, but also you're doing what you should have done in the first place and just watching the original video, because I would rather you do that than watch one of those reaction channels that have zero reaction. You know what I'm saying? It is a net positive for me if you come to my video and you click on the description and you see the original video and you go there and you watch that, as opposed to going off and being like, this guy talks too much, I'm going to watch a reaction channel that says nothing at all. Because in my opinion, I mean, we're all yoinking, but that person is truly yoinking with like no remorse. You know what I mean? And like, maybe it sounds crazy. I have beef with those types of reaction channels, I guess. But truth be told, that is a net positive for me. That's 1000% a net positive. Oh, but you know, this person's not going to stick around and watch your video. Good. This is not the content for them. You know, their thing is whatever. I don't know why they wouldn't watch the original. Maybe they're waiting for it almost kind of feels like it is the equivalent of those videos where it's like the gameplay is there, but the gameplay is pointless. Like the main thing you're paying attention to is the podcasters. That's what those types of reaction videos are. The main thing, except for it's flipped. The main thing is this content here, and the reactor is just there to be like a face. Whereas like during those podcast clips, you're mainly here for the podcast clip, but the video game thing is just there to be like a thing that distracts your eyes. That is what those reaction channels are, and that's why they die off so fast, man. It's not good in the long run. It's better to be unfunny. It's better to talk too much. Because the kinds of people that will stick around are people that will stick around. Like one thing that's really heartwarming to me is when I see people that will just like occasionally come out of nowhere and be like, hey man, I've been watching you for a very long time. I don't comment very often, or I've been gone for the past few weeks, or, you know, I know you haven't really been uploading as much recently, but the type of stuff that you create, you know, your type of reaction style where it's like, it's not even really a reaction. It's like, this guy is just going to kind of rant. You never know if there's going to be a 5-minute rant in the middle of this because somebody dropped a pancake and he's going to randomly tell a story about, you know, how we need to ban people trying to flip pancakes in pans that fall apart, because that's like, for some reason, a super common thing in unusual memes videos. It's just like, I'm going to try to flip this. My pan broke. Food just falls all the time in unusual memes videos. It's part of the reason why I don't really enjoy watching them that much. And it's part of the reason why I also, during the last unusual memes, I was like, you know, it's unusual memes, but the guy reacting talks way too much. I like went out of my way to be like, this clip is not really interesting to me, but we're gonna say something about it. We're gonna say something about it. That's life. It is literally me being like, no, like letting you know, like anyone that clicks on this video, the guy talks too much. Now he could be saying things you like. He could be saying things you don't like. I've legitimately got a comment on that video from somebody who was like, it's funny, but you still talk too much. And it's like, still, it's more beneficial to me in the long run for that to be the mentality than it is to sit here and pretend that those bare minimum reactions are funny in any way. And like I said, it's not about editing or even specifically what they react to. I think I've seen some things that reactors react to that I'm just not interested in. Like, I'm not interested in the topic, but because of how invested they get, especially like certain people that get really super invested over like dumb petty drama. I don't care about the dumb petty drama, but I do find it entertaining how much this person is raging at this dumb petty drama. You know, in a non-serious way. You know, it's one thing when like any video that's like seriously trying to cancel somebody because they said something edgy however many years ago is not going to be entertaining to me. You know, that kind of like anger is whatever. Those videos aren't interesting to me, but you get the idea, right? It's just like, but that's the thing, right? That goes back to the core of the core of what this is all about. That duality. People a lot of times don't realize that exists. There are people out there that, you know, it's not even just a matter of like pause less. It's they would prefer no pausing at all. They would prefer if every single video had zero pausing. And that's their ideal content consumption. And it's genuinely wild. But like I said, you know, I rarely receive these comments in the first place, but these people do exist, and these channels blow up consistently. And if you spend some time, if you start to get reaction content recommended to you, you will eventually get recommended one of these channels that's like a mill almost. And pay attention to those channels, man, because I spent the time invested. Like, I'm like, damn, this channel blew up. I'm going to sub to them. And maybe that's what other people are doing. They're researching. I'm going to sub to them, and in a couple months, I'll come back and I'll see how they're doing. And in a couple months, man, they're dying. They're dying with consistent uploads. Because the one thing, if they're dying and they haven't uploaded in 6 months, I can forgive that. I think I can probably forgive that because that's the exact same thing that happened to me. My views dropped off dramatically because I didn't upload for like 6 months. That's going to happen. But they're uploading like 4 to 5 videos, 6 videos a day. And it's just not working out. Of course it's not working out, man. Because you can be replaced. And that's the moral of the story, I guess. I don't know. Just me randomly bringing this up again. The duality, these people, they still exist, man. They're still out there.